Almost 12 years ago, Call of Duty Modern Warfare was announced. This was Call of Duty's first installment of a modern shooter, as previous titles were all set in World War II. Modern Warfare, or better known as COD 4, was right from the start a major success. The thrilling cinematic campaign was a one-of-a-kind experience. You were put right in the middle of a massive shootout, or gillied up in the bushes, trying to find the right spot to shoot the enemy. Without a doubt, the campaign was done right. Where COD 4 really shined was in its multiplayer. To summarize it in one word, iconic. The maps, guns, and mostly experience were all just good. The class system allowed for thousands of different playstyles, as well as the maps. Shipment was chaotic, block was slow, and Crash was, simply put, iconic. This game launched Call of Duty's success, which is still an understatement.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This was a midnight release of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. This was, as the title suggests, the follow-up on Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Should I say, massive success. The game would end up earning $550 million in just 5 days of its release. This game was originally going to cut itself off of the Call of Duty franchise, but after the first trailer release, it was decided that the game would still have the Call of Duty name on the box and posters, see the game being called Modern Warfare 2. MW2 changed up many aspects from the original Modern Warfare. New guns and attachments were introduced, new perks, new maps, but what probably stood out the most in Modern Warfare 2 were the kill streaks. While COD 4 only had 3, MW2 had 15. These new kill streaks allowed for a whole new COD experience. One of the best and most memorable kill streaks was probably the 25 kill streak, the nuke. Get 25 kills without dying and you automatically win the game. This allowed for a new type of players to shine, the grinders. People played days on days just to get those nukes. MW2, just like COD 4, had its flaws, from overpowered noob tubes to connection problems. Many agree these things still have to be fixed, but sadly, they never were and never will be. But besides these flaws, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is still considered the best COD ever. It's May 23rd, 2011. During the events before, so everyone knew that MW3 was coming. What wasn't known yet is that this game would go down as the best-selling COD of all time. The multiplayer reveal, something more than just a reveal trailer. It was a reveal event, called Call of Duty XP. This took place on September 2 and September 3, 2011. The event kicked off with a conference about Modern Warfare 3. This is where the multiplayer trailer was revealed, and where these famous words were said.
No last stand. Fuck you, last stand.
This isn't a game anymore, but Final Stand was. Besides the conference, there were many other events, such as a paintball event that took place in a remade version of MW2's Scrapyard. MW3's reveal was more than just a trailer. MW3's campaign starts off where MW2's ended. In this video, I will not go into detail on the storyline as there are plenty of videos on this topic, but here's how MW3's campaign was received by critics. The storyline was not that good. According to IGN, it was somewhat forgettable. You would kill hundreds of soldiers, and then you'd have to feel sad about one person dying because he had a name, which is why on an emotional level it was just meh. Also, the problems with the AI, as enemies would often ignore your squad and run straight towards you to kill you, instead of killing your squad mates who were just easier targets. This is mainly due to the engine, because MW3's engine runs off of MW2's, which is why it was difficult for them to program not to have endless waves of soldiers running towards you. But besides that fact, MW3's campaign was still fun. The visuals were great, you had plenty of experiences that you never had before. There's just a lot to do in the campaign. Now let's talk about the multiplayer, probably the most memorable part of the game. Modern Warfare 3 was, and still is, one of the best CODs, together with Modern Warfare 2, but improved, hence why it had the nickname, Modern Warfare 2.5. Despite that, it didn't feel like it, it still felt unique. Modern Warfare 3 wasn't received that good back in the day. I remember fondly hating the game, raging at every single aspect of the game, but looking back, it was good rage. Modern Warfare 3 was truly a good COD, and here's why. MW3 introduced many new aspects to COD, which are still in the game. The most noticeable was probably the score streak system. Before MW3, there were only kill streaks. This system worked very well in Team Deathmatch or Free-for-All, but in other game modes it didn't. People would just not go for objectives. The basic idea is that for kills you get a point, but also for a capture flag or kill streaks. Of course, this brought a new problem along. If you play the objective, you die more. And of course, Modern Warfare 3 fixed this problem as well, by introducing different strike packages. You had the Assault, Support, and Specialist strike package. The Assault package had the same kill streaks as we knew, with the addition and removal of a few, but once you died, you just lost your kill streak. So staying alive was key in this package, but you were heavily rewarded if you did so. The Support package is pretty much self-explanatory. The kill streaks you would get from that package were all to support your team. The Ballistic Vest was probably the most famous one. This is a package you would throw on the ground, allowing your teammates to pick up the vest and get more health. The good thing about running this package is that you wouldn't lose your streak after dying, allowing you to play as offensive as you'd like to. The Specialist package, which is the final one, allowed you to get extra perks, one for every 2 kills, and at 8 kills you would unlock all perks, which was a crazy thing to have. You were literally unstoppable if you had some skill. Many people liked this. It was new and it was done right. The kill streaks were not as overpowered anymore. 1 second from a chopper gun in Modern Warfare 2 just wasn't fun. MW3 also reworked MW2's nuke. In Modern Warfare 2 you had to equip the nuke as a kill streak, while in MW3 it was always on, which is something many people liked. And unlike Modern Warfare 2's nuke, the Moab, as it's called in Modern Warfare 3, didn't end the game. It simply killed everyone on the enemy team and making the map have a reddish tint. Not many people liked this color, as it made vision worse, but it was sort of a trophy for the person who got the Moab, as everyone on the enemy team was reminded that they messed up. From kill streaks we're now moving on to guns, but there isn't much to talk about, at least not post-patch. Pre-patch, well, that's a different story. When MW3 was released, there were 3 guns to use: FMG Akimbo, Striker, and Type 95. These guns were so overpowered, they had to be patched right away, which did happen in less than a month. The FMG Akimbos didn't require any skill, you just had to run and shoot. Together, like I said, these were patched, and a few patches later, there just weren't any overpowered guns anymore. But the LSW and SCAR-L were also very good. So the game was very balanced when it came to guns. Something MW3 also introduced were the proficiencies. These were like perks for your weapons. You could run attachments to get 2 attachments, or range to get more range on your gun, and so on. There were 10 proficiencies in total, giving you a slightly different experience depending on which proficiency you were running. This was a really good introduction, as it allowed for more customization without breaking the game. Now, what else can we talk about? Maps, right? Who doesn't remember MW3's maps? Sure, they're not as iconic as Nuketown, Scrapyard, Shipment, but who doesn't remember Dome, Hard Hat, Bootleg, Resistance, or Mission? Most, not all, maps were very good. They were almost all balanced with close and long range combat. Most maps used a 3-lane system where the map's turn was just horrible, having a huge hole in the middle of the map, and interchange was just bumpy. Good joke, am I right? But overall, the multiplayer map. Modern Warfare 3's game modes were also very good. You had the classic Team Deathmatch, Free-for-All, Domination. But MW3 also had a game mode confirmed was probably the most famous new game mode. It's almost exactly the same as Team Deathmatch, but you had also very new, very awesome, but I'll come back to that later. But of course we cannot forget about it. Infected was sort of like a zombies type game mode, where you would all spawn as uninfected players, but one player would randomly be assigned and he would become infected after 10 seconds or so. This player would lose his gun and ammo, leaving him with just a knife, and he would have to knife other players in order to infect them as well. This game mode was very fun to play with friends, and it's all about the memories. Now let's talk about survival. This is not really multiplayer, but it was a co-op game mode. This was Modern Warfare 3's take on zombies. You would play on normal multiplayer maps, and you would have to survive waves of soldiers. I have to say, it's not as fun as zombies, but it was surely fun to play when you didn't feel like playing normal multiplayer. There isn't much I can say about this game mode, as it was sort of a flop. Although I still remember enjoying it a lot, finding map strategies in order to get more rounds than normally possible. Now, we can't forget about Modern Warfare 3's map packs. MW3's map pack system was in my opinion the best system that ever existed in COD. MW3 had the normal system where 4 map packs were dropped, costing about $15 US each, but you could also buy a season pass, or Call of Duty Elite as it was called. No. Every month you get new content. From January until September you'd get something new. 3 things could drop. Either new multiplayer maps, Spec Ops mission, the same as normal multiplayer, but on smaller maps. You could play 1v1, 2v2, or 3v3. Many people enjoyed this as it was very fun to play. You could play to it. It was just fun, and sadly it didn't see a return. And of course we cannot talk about Modern Warfare 3's map packs without talking about Call of Duty Elite. This was an app that came out together with MW3. It was partially free, but if you bought the Season Pass or Call of Duty Elite, you got access to all paid parts of the app. And there were 5 categories. You had Career, where you could see your match history as well as the stats. This was extremely useful for the people who cared about their stats in order to improve their gameplay. You could create classes and watch your leaderboards as well. Connect was a theater mode. You could watch your gameplay, your friends' gameplays, or just random community events such as a picture contest, a clip contest. It was just very fun for players to just come together and have fun. Improve helped you understand every map, perk, strike package, gun, etc. You had tips, tricks, everything. And finally, you had Elite TV. Here you could watch official COD videos. This app brought players together. No other Call of Duty was able to do this as well as MW3. This is what made Modern Warfare 3 so good in my opinion. There was always something. It was fairly easy to see how outdated Modern Warfare 3 was compared to Battlefield 3. Connection was also terrible. You would often be disconnected, or you would encounter host migration. Actually sad that they were even introduced. Something many people hated as well was the fact that you couldn't trick time. 2 years after Modern Warfare 2, 1 year after Black Ops. But no, you couldn't switch weapons right after each other, and this made many people mad. But luckily this got fixed in Black Ops 2, which is the COD where all sniping clans saw their full primetime potential. Nevertheless, it still hurt the community a lot. Recently there have been rumors about a Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 remake. If they do this, they should use the same approach as COD 4. They shouldn't change any aspect of the game. We did hate some things, but we grew to love them, which is why I really hope they remaster both games, single player and multiplayer. And this is where I want to end the video. If you subscribe if you're new. Also, let me know in the comments below if you agree with everything I said and if you have good or bad memories of MW3. Thanks for watching guys, I'll see you in the next one.